Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. It is the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. We say that all the time, don't we, Daniel?
We do. You do. I never say it. When am I going to say it?
When you get to host the show, when you get to sit in the royal chair.
The royal chair. The golden chair.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, and we are so glad to be back here in the studio. Daniel,
yes,
how's the mail rot coming? You delivering a lot of packages
14
right now?
hours yesterday.
14 hours.
But I get off on Sundays, thank goodness.
Okay.
They still deliver on Sundays.
That's why you're here.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're glad to have you, and you're all full of energy, and
we're
all set. Okay. We're all set to do episode 86.
86.
And we've got a lot of good things to talk about today, Daniel. And before we get underway, I want to take some time to shout out to some of our newcomers here on the show. Guess who we have at the top of the list?
Who?
Gary's wife, Katie.
Gary's wife?
Yes.
Man,
yes.
I wish he was on the show.
She liked us on Facebook this past week.
If he was on the show would be so much better.
Well, we'll work on getting him back here.
We'll see what we can do.
Anyway, we also want to say hello to the folks at Wild River Flies in Bozeman, Montana, Vacation Maybe, Fish Shootouts in South Dakota, Newbie Fun Resorts in Florida, Travel Competitions, Savvy Steth, they all are following us on Twitter. And we also want to say hello to David P. of Massachusetts and Laura Vasta in Milano. They all added us to circles this past week on Google+. Thank you all so very much, each and every one of you, for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Hey, would you like to be a guest on our show?
Yes.
Well, Daniel, you're welcome aboard anytime.
Woo!
Yeah, anyway, you can very simply get in touch with us. You can start by emailing me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com or
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
Let us know you'd like to be on the program. Tell us what you'd like to talk about. Anything in the world of camping is wide open. So, get in touch with any one of us, either one of us, should I say, and we'll make that happen. We can bring you in on Google Hangouts. We can bring you in on Skype, and even the old-fashioned Ma Bell method. We have all kinds of different ways to bring you in through the console. The easiest way, of course, is to sign up for a Google Plus account. This way you can add Happy Camper Radio to your circles. And incidentally, anytime that we decide we're going to have call-ins to the show, you never know when you may get an invitation.
Ooh.
So, yeah, keep that in mind. Hey, Gary just could not get enough of the show, Daniel.
What?
No, he couldn't.
That guy again?
Hey, 2 weeks in a row, and he is just so much into this.
Yeah.
We just couldn't help but to get him back here.
What?
We are welcoming, once again, on the Happy Camper Radio, Gary Sizer from North Carolina. Gary, hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
how's it going?
Hey, thanks so much for calling in.
Oh, my pleasure, as always. You know it.
Yeah, well, I understand that you went on a Thanksgiving Day camping trip.
I did, yeah. Katie and I had a really good time this Thanksgiving. We went to the little town of Hot Springs, North Carolina, which is about 45 minutes away from our house, and it happens to be right on the Appalachian Trail. In fact, you walk down the main street of Hot Springs, and there are white blazes on the telephone poles there. The trail goes right through town. Now, believe it or not, even this late in the year, with it being as cold as it is, there's still a bunch of people on the trail hiking southbound. These are the people who started up in Maine and they're working their way down to Georgia. Well, right around Thanksgiving, there's a pretty good-sized crowd of them going through Hot Springs. So Katie and I got together with a couple of other local trail angels and put together some pies and some turkeys, and people brought potatoes, and it was just your good old traditional style Thanksgiving dinner right there at the community center in Hot Springs. And we hung out with a bunch of hikers and had a good traditional style Thanksgiving meal, and then we grabbed our backpacks and headed up into the hills. Yeah, we spent Thanksgiving weekend, sleeping in our tents beside a waterfall in North Carolina.
Nice.
Gary, I can't help but to ask you this question.
Oh, boy.
Being the fact that you were back on the trail, were you tempted to start hiking north?
I'll tell you what, Skip, I'm just happy to be hiking in any direction.
If you started back toward Maine again, Gary, there's no telling when we would see or hear from you.
Oh, boy.
But like you were saying a couple weeks ago when you were on the show, wow, that's some journey, and I'm sure you're ready to tackle it again somewhere down the road.
I got other big plans. Yep.
Hey, what we're going to talk about on today's show is a subject matter that I think is very fitting for this time of the year. Let's keep in mind that a lot of families have already packed it in for the season. They are strictly spring and summertime campers. And their idea of going out in the fall and wintertime is not even up for discussion. So now, if you are those type of campers, if you are at home, if you are dreaming about the upcoming 2015 spring and summertime camping season, now would be an excellent opportunity to consider building yourself a camp kitchen. And that's what we're going to talk about here on the program today. It's a definite must for serious campers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go do a Google search on this and look at some of the images. I mean, the sky is the limit as far as
it's important for casual campers too, Skip.
Yeah.
Not just the hardcore people need to eat. We all got to get food out there.
Yes. Now, some people don't.
For everybody.
Some people just, pull their gear out of boxes. They pull their food out of boxes and they prepare it right there at the end of the picnic table at the campsite. That's okay if it works for you, if it's just maybe you and your wife, if it's just maybe you by yourself, like me. All right, then that would work. But let's just say you are a camp chef, you pride yourself, everybody loves your cooking, you have folks all across the campground just want to get drawn into the aroma of the food that you're preparing. Chances are you're going to want to build yourself a nice little camp kitchen. And that, again, is what we'll talk about here on today's show. I don't know about you, but I am very, very organized when it comes to camping. Other matters, I don't want to talk about that. But food preparation at camp is very popular to me. In fact, it's just as popular as sitting by the fire. All right? Some campers, like I say, do prefer to work out of boxes, and that's okay if that works for you. I had, many years ago, had the opportunity to build one of these camp kitchens, and I will talk about that here in just a little bit. But even if you're not into the working in the garage, say if you don't have a workshop, let's just say you just have a little small shed in the back, then that's, where you store stuff, that's where you work out of. I had one of them too back in an earlier life. But today, you can bring yourself to camp a couple of folding tables. You can put together some, your gear in a couple of different boxes and keep them separate from the picnic table, which is your dining area. I do not like to prepare food at the table where I dine. How about you, Gary?
Well, you know what, Skip? I think this is going to be a lot of fun because we've got a pretty diverse range of techniques and styles here. You're talking about building a kitchen and boxes and tables and stuff, and I'm all about can I fit it in my pocket? I'm looking for something that I can hold in one hand.
Gary,
so I think we're going to get some good ideas off each other in both directions here.
I directed that question directly to you because if I bring it to Daniel, whatever ultra-modern piece of furniture he can bring to camp as a comfort from home, he will do it.
There you go.
All right, and he may actually wheel a kitchen in on an 18-wheeler.
The kitchen sink, as it were.
Yeah, and you've got one of them in your pop-up,
I do.
Too. Mm-hmm.
I do.
Now, some people do all their kitchen preparations inside their pop-up camper, their travel trailer, or their RV, their motorhome, whatever the case may be. And that's okay. But some people do like to take that outdoors. I am one of those people. I still have a camper that fits on my truck, which I keep talking about getting fixed up and getting it sold one of these days. I'm not going to use it anymore. So, it's going to go eventually. But even that, even though it had a nice kitchen set up on the inside where you could prepare your food and do all your cooking, had plenty of cabinet space where I could store all my things, I still enjoyed food preparation on the outside as opposed to on the inside.
So do you like to cook on a stove, or do you like to cook on the fire, or do you Do you take one from each, or how do you do that?
I've done just about all of that, Daniel.
Okay.
Very, very little food preparation I will do over an open flame.
Okay.
But
Do
I
you
have had
a Dutch oven or a
I
gas?
had one of the very first 3-burner Coleman stoves that came out.
Wow.
That you could use either camp fuel or unleaded gasoline. I am going to get one. I still have it. I'm going to get it refurbished. It's seen its better days. But right now, what I am using are these small butane stoves that they run about $20 a piece, and they use butane canisters, something about the size of a hairspray can. I've got 2 of them, and for me by myself, it works out excellent. You know,
That's good stuff. I carry a smaller one-person version of those when I go backpacking. Little iso butane canisters. Sometimes they call them Coleman fuel. Is that the same thing you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But that's real popular. And there's white gas, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think Coleman fuel and white gas are the same. Correct me if I'm mistaken.
Okay, correct me if I'm mistaken.
Well, one of our listeners will correct us if we are both mistaken.
Hey,
I
look,
guarantee you
I'm
that.
not mistaken. You stay in your pop-up, you use the gas that's on the pop-up, and you're good to go. All right? Let's do it the easy way, not the roughing it way. Come on now.
Only in the event that you are dealing with inclement weather and you don't have any type of shelter to be under when you're preparing your food. I can go along with that, Daniel. All right, now you've got a little small kitchenette inside there,
right.
and I know you put your wife to work anytime.
Yeah, that's me.
That's
Putting
her.
the wife to work.
Does she bring her camp apron with her?
She has aprons. I don't know if she has a specific apron. We usually do what we usually do. We'll do our normal breakfast. We'll do like a bacon, egg, cheese, English muffin for breakfast. Then for dinner, we'll just it's not that fancy really. And then like for lunch, we'll probably
go camping with you guys.
Hey, Gary,
we
you're
gotta
welcome
pop up.
to anytime.
But so for dinner, we'll just put a Bertolli in a fryer, and that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll put some hot dogs over the fire, which I love. And when I was in Boy Scouts, cooking and cleaning were all they ever did. I mean, we cooked a lot of stuff over the fire. They have those little things that you can put over the flames when the coals burn down, and you can put your stuff over that. And like we had this thing called dragon eggs, and you'd put all these like spices and peppers in a Dutch oven, and you'd put the coals on, and I don't know, like the way it tasted over fire it was a lot different. It's kind of like when you charbroil a burger, as opposed to just putting it on a frying pan. It gives it this certain taste that is just awesome.
A lot of times you can come up with some very good recipes and get a lot better ones too, but simply by talking to some fellow campers around you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am very particular about the food that I prepare. I am always going to be prepared as far as my kitchen goes. About a month ago, Daniel, and I'm going to have to get you up to Hiawassee, there's no doubt about it. We did an episode up there with everybody at camp, and it worked out very well. We had some youngsters there that participated. I went ahead and I paid tribute that particular show to a very dear friend, Captain Jimmy Mom Atkinson, who had founded that camp about 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. Had been coming up there loyally every single year. He carried the nickname Mom because he basically set up the kitchen. He prepared the food. He always had people coming back for more. But when you want to talk about somebody who set up a camp kitchen, Jimmy was the one who did it absolutely all the way. He made sure that he had everything that he needed all the way down to the last toothpick. He was very well set. He had a stove that I think this stove and range came out of a motorhome. But he had that. He had maybe 5 or 6 20-pound propane tanks there. He was never worried about running out.
So he had a glamping kitchen. I know our listeners like us to talk about glamping.
Call it what you want, but Jimmy was a real inspiration and a true camp chef, and we all admired him. Mm-hmm. We talk about him to this very day, and again, he always had people coming back for more. So you can never go too small. You can never go too big. The sky's the limit as to what you want to do. some people do have it, set up very well. I look around any time that I go to a public campground. Of course, I'm enjoying the company. I'm enjoying talking to other people, meeting people from other areas. But at the same time, my eyes are always open. And I always like to see what other people use, what other people have built. And just to get myself jealous.
I think what the goal is when it comes to camping is, okay, what's easy, what's going to do and make what I need it to make, and what's going to be the least amount of hassle. I think that's the thing that everyone, for the most part would want in a camping kitchen. You don't want, okay, you could have a big old setup, but then you got to, spend half the day cleaning up. I mean, because we brought everything and the kitchen sink when I was in Boy Scouts, and all we did was cook, clean, and whittle sticks. And then by the time we got done whittling sticks, it was time to pack up and go. And I was like, I'd rather just eat a granola bar and hang out and learn how to do outdoorsy stuff and not spend all my time in the kitchen. So I think it's about what's the most efficient, easiest way to make your food. In my opinion,
if you were doing all of that, what was your scoutmaster doing?
I think he was sitting down. He was putting us kids to work.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, tying the bowl and lashings. We learned lashings too.
Oh yeah.
But the truth is, you can build any style of camp kitchen you want. And again, if you go do a Google search of it, you can get some great ideas. They take on many different shapes and designs. They've got little shelves, little compartments, little drawers. You can do whatever you want with them and spend a lot of time doing it. If you're interested in building a camp kitchen, now would be the great opportunity to do that if you are a spring and summertime camper. I had built one back in the early 90s, and let me tell you briefly about this. I had a lot of fun building this, too. In fact, I still have it in the garage. It's kind of been idle like my camper. It hasn't really gone out very much. But I was working a trade show in downtown Atlanta on a regular basis. It was like a part-time job for me. And anytime that they had a trade show, all the garbage that the manufacturers did not want to haul home with them, they just left it behind, and it was going out to the dumpster. I remember working this woodworking show, and there were all these pre-cut scrap boards heading for the dumpster. Well, they headed to the bed of my pickup truck.
Oh, boy.
All right, they were already pre-cut and pre-sized. All I needed to do is attach some wood glue and some nails and some hardware, and I had myself a beautiful designed camp kitchen. And I did it all from memory. I did not sit down and write out plans or anything like that. I just saw these boards, and I'm going, I know what I can use these for. If nobody's taking them, nobody's laying claim to them, and they're going to the dumpster, they're coming home with me.
So you went dumpster.
So you did this with no plans, no blueprints or anything?
No. And here's the funny thing.
What did it look like?
Here is the funny thing. It's just when I stumbled across this stack of wood, I wasn't even thinking about a camp kitchen or building anything for that matter. I just laid my eyes on it, and a light bulb just came on. I'm going, wow, I know what I could use this for. Now, here is the problem I had. The box was extremely heavy and very difficult to move. Back then, I was a single camper. I didn't have my wife and my kids going out with me, but, they said, hey, do what you want. We're not going to stop you. And I still went out, but I used to carry this box with me. It was heavy. So this is what you've got to keep in mind also when you're thinking about building one of these camp kitchens. Do you have help? Are the kids going to help? Do you have the room to do it? If you drive around in a little hatchback vehicle like Daniel's wife does, then you can forget that. It's not going to work unless you're going to haul a trailer behind you. So, you've got to keep all these things in mind. But if you do have the capability of bringing things to camp that other people would not bring, if you own a pickup truck, if you do have a pull-along trailer attached to your vehicle that you can carry these items with you, you may want to consider upgrading your camp kitchen and be the standout camper to everybody at the campsite.
Hey, Skip.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't have top-notch woodworking skills, can they buy something like this?
They can. I don't want to say they can buy a wooden version of it, but they could go to just about any of the big box stores that specialize in camping supplies, and there are already some pre-made kitchens right there. And they may not have the storage compartments, they may not have the drawers, but they will have the setup that you can basically fold together and set up in a matter of minutes right there at camp. Some of them even do have the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of those? But they also have a table there where you can either put your grill, you can use it as a food prep area. The thing I like to do, though, is get away from the idea of preparing your food at the picnic table where a lot of people sit. I like to have plenty of room to move around. I don't like to be elbowing people that are sitting next to me. I don't like to have to be reaching over the stove to grab the salt and pepper shaker. And that's the problem you're going to have if you do your food prep at the place that you eat.
Just like at home.
Yeah.
Well, back when I was a kid, my grandmother, when we went camping with her, she had this little kitchen set up, and it was really cool, and I would get involved. And, my grandmother, she was really proud of me when I would help out and everything. She thought, that was a really cool thing. But it's just cool how over the years things have changed as far as setups. Like, people back then had their ways of doing things. Now people have their ways of doing things now. I mean, I know they have these solar generator packs, and you could, plug up a stove to that and cook like that. It's just so cool how when my grandmother... she had her kitchen set up, and now how it is, Wow, so, but my grandmother was, really proud of me.
Sounds luxurious.
Yeah.
Like I said, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. You can build whatever you want. You just got to make sure that you're not going to overdo it. It's one thing to go ahead and build a very elaborate setup, but it's also another thing to find the storage space at home for it once it is built. Getting it to your vehicle, hauling it to camp, packing it up and bringing it home. I mean, those are all factors that play into it as well. I can tell you now that the box that I have built, the one that I told you I built back in the 90s, it's taking up space in my garage. And I'm probably going to end up selling it or maybe even tearing it down. Because it's right now, I don't think I'll ever be using it again. I'll tell you what I do use. I bring along an extra folding table with me. I have 2 containers that contain, number 1, all my kitchen supplies that I need, talking paper plates, napkins, aluminum foil, just everything that you would need that's focused on the kitchen area. I also have a second container which carries all of my pots and pans and utensils. I will keep them at the edge of the table, and on the other end is where I do my cooking. And those little grills are so convenient. You can move them out of the way if you have to bring out a cutting board, if you're going to be chopping up some celery or maybe cutting some onions, which is something I will never do because I am not in onions.
Ooh, love the onions.
But, if I need my little food prep area right there you've got it. And once I'm done, I can just pull those stoves a little bit closer to me and begin preparing my food. And
hey,
this in no way.
A question: when you've got onions and celery, and you're talking about like bringing vegetables and things out into the camping area with you, what do you do about? Are you refrigerating these somehow, or like if you're going to be out for 2 or 3 days, you don't want your onions to go bad?
No, I've got a cooler for that purpose. Yes, in fact, I just bought a new cooler last year.
Another one?
Yeah, Danny, I told you about that. But
I thought you were done buying gear, Skip.
We're hitting a sore spot. No,
I'll tell you one of the reasons I find that intriguing is because I've been doing this with a completely different style than you guys. You're talking about kitchens and utensils, and this all sounds very luxurious to me. And what my stove is. I've got something called a jet boil. Have you heard of the jet boil?
No.
It's this. It's basically a titanium cooking pot that's just a little bit bigger than maybe a water bottle. It holds like 32 ounces of water, and it's got a little almost like a tripod structure that screws into the top of a fuel canister and shoots little flames out of it. The cooking pot screws down on top of that. The whole thing's no bigger than a football when it's fully assembled. And I boil my water in less than 2 minutes. And, I carry my spices in Tic Tac containers with little stickers on them so I know what's in them. And you guys are bringing an entire, like you say, you're bringing a kitchen. You're not kidding. You bring a real kitchen. That's impressive.
Well, if you're going to go camping and you're going to spend some time out in the woods, I say do it upright.
Yeah.
Again, if I'm not sitting by the fire, I am preparing food. And I try to do it upright each and every time.
There you go.
So,
what was that thing called again, Gary?
A jet boil.
Okay.
Jet Boil's the brand name. They've got a bunch of different models that, some of them cook faster, some of them have a larger container, etc. But Jet Boil's the brand.
That sounds really cool.
Yep, yeah. They use the same fuel canisters we were talking about earlier.
Oh, cool. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Well, that's definitely something to consider. If you don't want to go as big as I do, Daniel takes it down a notch for me. And Gary, it sounds like for you, as far as your camp kitchen goes, if it can fit in your backpack, it'll work well. Did you carry one with you when you hiked the Appalachian Trail?
I sure did.
You did?
Oh, wow. I thought you just carried Cliff Bars for 6 months.
Well, hey, there's a lot of guys who do the trail who go ultralight, and they don't bring any kind of cooking gear at all. Every meal they eat is room temperature.
Oh my heavens!
A lot of sausages and crackers and whatnot. I've got to have a hot meal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I hear that.
Well, Gary, I really appreciate you taking the time to call back into the show and joining us here for this upcoming episode. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show again. And hopefully the next time that happens, it will be at a campground where we can take the time to stretch our legs and enjoy the fresh air.
Like the dog is.
Like the dog is going crazy. We're talking about camping, and he wants to start barking. So it works out that way sometimes. But let's hope
actual fire.
Let's just hope that the next time we meet is going to be at a campground where we can do the show right from there. I think it'll work out very well. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Daniel, have you ever camped in the state of Arkansas?
No.
I
know they have diamonds in Arkansas. It's the only place where you have diamonds.
I'm surprised you're not already there.
I know. I need to go there.
You must going to replace that ring you bought for your wife?
It is the natural state.
Oh, okay. Well, I found a campground there called Carter Cove, and it is a year-round campground. I love the places you can go year-round. Some places, depending upon what they have and the type of weather they have, the nasty winter weathers, they decide to close down a little bit until the weather, warms up. But anyway, Carter Cove is a great campground, and it's located on the Neiman Dam, which was built in 1942. Now, back in that time, they didn't really plan on recreation as part of their initial mission of the dam project. But today, the lake itself and 21,000 acres of pristine land now have outdoor enthusiasts coming there out of the woodwork. It is a great place to go camping. If you're an angler, check out some of the fishing opportunities: catfish, bluegill, bass, crappie. They're all available. This time of the year, however, the swimming beaches on Neiman Lake are closed until further notice. I am not like you. I will not put my swim trunks on out in the middle of the winter and go swimming,
You're not
Daniel.
a polar bear?
No, hey.
Come on now, Skip.
No, I'll sit by the fire. Hey, and this also is a great area if you enjoy white-tailed deer. If you enjoy any kind of wildlife viewing, you can find it right here. It's Carter Cove in Arkansas, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, all you have to do is get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com or
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And by all means, send us a link to the campground website so we can post it there for everyone to see and tell us why that campground has you so intrigued. Gary, thank you so much again for joining us, and we'll be talking with you again in one of our upcoming episodes of the Happy Camper Radio Show. And let us know, too, when you plan on your next hiking journey, wherever that may be, okay?
Going today.
You're going, okay. Well, hey, darn. Short notice, I'm not going to be able to go with you.
Okay.
But anyway, hey, thank you also so much for joining us. Don't forget you can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.